Welcome to my channel Digital Challenge Academy with Rimanshu.
Welcome to today's explainer. Can you believe we've hit day 49 of this journey? Today is huge because we are laying out the ultimate battle plan for conquering mock papers. Seriously, think of this as your absolute final dress rehearsal before the grand finale in the actual exam room. We're going to take all those techniques, the little shortcuts, and those problem-solving strategies we've been mastering, and we're applying them to the most complex, multi-part challenge we've seen yet. So get your machine fired up, get hyper-focused, and let's conquer this final mock paper together.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the battle plan for today. We've got 1. The ultimate dress rehearsal, 2. Mastering document architecture, 3. Hardening data validation, 4. Multi-layer presentations and logs, and 5. The final exam countdown.
Section 1. The ultimate dress rehearsal, the final challenge.
100. That is the magic number right now. You see, mock paper 4 isn't just some casual drill or a quick little warm-up exercise. No, it is a full 100-mark heavyweight challenge. It is specifically engineered to throw the absolute most complex, multi-layered problems right at you. I mean, when you sit down with this paper, you're facing structural section shifts, you're building bulletproof data validation rules, and you're handling multimedia tracking, all wrapped up into one massive test of your skills.
As the source prompt perfectly puts it, today is your ultimate dress rehearsal. And what does conquering this 100-mark beast actually mean for us? Well, it means you have to grab the challenge assets from the description below and treat this practice session with the exact same intensity you would bring to the real test. I'm talking no distractions, no second-guessing yourself. You have to perform today like your real grade depends on it. Because honestly, the muscle memory you build right now, that is exactly what's going to carry you across the finish line tomorrow.
Let's move to Section 2, Mastering Document Architecture, Controlling Writer.
This specific part of the mission, Part A of the mock paper, is worth a whopping 25 marks. And to secure every single one of those points, you've got to solve a notoriously tricky layout constraint. The prompt actually requires you to host both portrait and landscape sections seamlessly within a single unified document. Now that might sound simple at first, but as we all know, word processors absolutely love to force uniform formatting. If you aren't super careful, it will literally ruin your entire document structure.
So how do we break those page styling constraints? Well, you have to follow this exact, precise sequence. First, go to Insert. Then, select More Breaks. Choose Manual Break, and from there, you explicitly swap the page style to Landscape. By doing this, you're basically creating a totally isolated environment. You can now add customized headers to this brand new Landscape section without accidentally altering or completely breaking the formatting of your first portrait pages.
Sticking to this precise maneuver guarantees flawless execution. Perfect layout control, zero bugs. It is absolutely crucial to internalize this workflow, guys, because when the pressure is on and you're watching that clock tick down, you really don't have time to wrestle with a document that keeps overwriting your formatting. Memorize this sequence, and I guarantee you'll secure those 25 marks cleanly and confidently.
All right, Section 3, Hardening Data Validation, Locking Down Calc.
Part B is a really high-stakes mission, and this one is worth 35 marks. Here, you're dropped into a realistic corporate scenario where the main villain isn't actually some crazy complex formula. It's human error. Users are constantly entering invalid formatting inputs into a vital corporate record column, and your job is to build an absolute wall that stops bad data in its tracks.
So this is where utilizing data validation becomes your best friend. It lets you build a bulletproof shield around your inputs. And remember, data validation isn't just a polite suggestion for the user. It is an absolute hard technical barrier. You are highlighting an entire array of cells and essentially telling Calc, under no circumstances allow anyone to bypass these rules. To lock down that column properly, you've got to configure some really strict parameters. Your first action is navigating up to Data and then clicking Validity, but the real magic happens over in the constraints. For this specific scenario, we are setting the parameter to allow only text lengths between 5 and 10 characters. Anything shorter or anything longer is immediately rejected by the system. No exceptions. But here's the catch. A silent rejection is not going to get you full marks on this mock paper. You have to follow that up by programming a custom error alert pop-up tab. Think of this as an explicit, highly customized text banner that essentially yells at the user when they mess up. By configuring this, Calc instantly stops the bad data inputs and hits them with a specific warning. This is huge because it shows the examiner you don't just know how to use the software, you actually know how to build a user-friendly, fail-safe environment. And that, my friends, is exactly what secures the full 35 marks for Part B.
Next up, Section 4, Multi-Layer Presentations and Logs, Execution Tactics.
Now we push into Part C, which requires you to totally master Impress interactive actions. The assignment here demands that your presentation isn't just a standard boring linear slideshow. It needs to be an interactive dashboard, so you map out custom action shapes by going to Insert, then Shape. After that, you right-click that shape to add an interaction. You're going to configure that interaction state so that clicking the shape makes the presentation jump immediately to explicit external documentation files. It's a non-linear action trigger, and setting it up flawlessly proves you have advanced command over this software.
Let's move right into Part D and see how this builds into writing clean processing logs. Look, it is not enough to just do the technical work. You have to document your execution flawlessly. Inside the portal answer area text box, you must use incredibly clear direction indicators, like sequential arrows, to log your exact process. So it should look something like highlight column, arrow, initialize validation settings, arrow, define error message. When you write your processing logs with this kind of crisp sequential clarity, the reviewer can just look at your text box and check off your points instantly without ever second-guessing your methodology.
Which brings us to Section 5, the final exam countdown, ready for the room.
50 minutes. That number right there is your ultimate benchmark. In fact, I challenge you right now. Go download Mock Paper-4 from the source materials, sit down in a quiet room, and set a strict timer. If you can execute those complex writer layouts, the strict Calc data validations, the Impress interactive shapes, and write out your perfectly clean processing logs, and finish the entire 100-mark paper in under the 50-minute mark, you are 100% ready for the actual exam room. That is the absolute gold standard of speed and accuracy.
Before we get to our final thought for today, just a really quick reminder to support the original source channel that brought us this incredible battle plan. Be sure to subscribe to @TechWithRimanshu, drop a like, share, and comment to keep mastering these exact technical skills.
Okay, before we officially wrap up this explainer, I have a crucial homework assignment for you based on that data validity criteria window we explored earlier in Calc. We already know we need to program an alert when bad data is entered, but you're actually presented with options for how that alert functions. Specifically, I'm talking about the stop action versus the warning action.
Which leads perfectly into our final provocative question for this explainer. In that LibreOffice Calc data validity window, what is the exact operational difference between selecting the error alert action stop and selecting warning? Does one of them actually let bad data through if the user just insists? Does the other completely lock the cell down no matter what? Think carefully about how a real corporate database needs to function. I want you to drop your exact answer down in the comments. Seriously, mastering that tiny operational difference might just be the one thing that saves your database in the real world. All right, get to work on that mock paper, and I will see you for tomorrow's Day 50 Grand Finale.